All right, what is up, everybody? Weatherman here, and welcome to another episode of me doing my laundry. Yeah, no, not really. Coding vlog number 4, I believe. And today we are going to talk about everything that's transpired thus far and where we're headed. So it's Saturday currently. I start classes on Monday the 16th. Today's Saturday the 14th, and I am starting with General Assembly at 9 a.m. on Monday. So pretty excited, and also a little bummed out that my freedom's coming to an end. I've spent about the last month kind of just chilling. I have been on basically an extended vacation, sitting at home doing nothing but playing video games, watching Netflix, doing some self-paced coding work, taking the kids to cheerleading practice, etc., etc. So, in the past week or so, I have been going through a self-paced course over at Scrimba. That's scrimba.com. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or not, but if you haven't, I would highly encourage you to check them out. And this video is sponsored by Scrimba. No, I'm just kidding, but that'd be cool. No sponsors on this low production quality stuff yet. So anyway, Scrimba, it is really cool. I'd like to talk about it real quick. I was feeling real lost looking through the JavaScript stuff for General Assembly's pre-work. I was just lost on for loops and how variables worked and iterating through arrays, etc., etc. And it just seemed like a jumble of stuff that I wasn't going to get. And it's partially due to the fact that I'm bad at self-work. I prefer to have an instructor explaining it, and that way I can ask questions if I need to. Um, but I went over to Scrimba, and the way their classes work is it's basically a video of a code editor with a guy talking over it. And at points during each 2 or 3 minute video that's going over a certain skill, he'll have you pause the video, and as soon as you click pause, the video turns into an interactive code editor. It's actually pretty cool. They call it a scrim. So you can save that or not, whatever. And so he might ask you to write a for loop, and you'll pause the video, and the moment you start typing, the screen turns a little darker so you know that you're working on your thing. And then you can type out your code and then unpause the video, and he will show you the solution. Real neat. It's real neat, and it's helped a lot because you code every single slide. You're writing a piece of code every 2 to 3 minutes. You're learning stuff and you're building stuff. So far we built a little people counter. He modeled it off after a job he used to have, counting people outside a subway. Just tick, tick, tick. Okay, that's the group of people. Save, right? And that was the whole thing. So we wrote some code to save and log out variables, basically. And then the second project was building a blackjack game. Doesn't have as much functionality as maybe it should, but for basics, I mean, you get through iterating through arrays and setting variables and player data and objects, inserting elements into the DOM. It was great, real immersive. And then the final project in the JavaScript course is building a Google Chrome extension, basically that saves leads. So it'll be a form fill. You click save, it'll keep a list for you. Just trying to get into the basics of that. So they have a whole front-end developer path that I think is real neat. I'll probably continue on to HTML and CSS as soon as I manage to pace my way through the rest of their JavaScript course. But I don't know if I'll do that before the weekend ends. Got the kids around and there's stuff going. So aside from that, not a whole lot going on around here. I do feel a lot more comfortable with JavaScript now that I've gone through most of Scrimba's course. I talked to my instructors earlier this week. We set up, they called it Install Fest. We just went through and made sure that the command line was set up the way they wanted it. I'm running Windows, actually. They don't really support Windows, technically. The instructor does use Windows, though. Well, does and doesn't. He has both. But he's going to be teaching from a Mac, but I already had WSL2 installed, and then I had to download Ubuntu to get Linux running, and I already had that done before we walked into Installfest, so it was like, yay, happy day for him. He didn't have to walk me through that 20-minute process. And then make sure we have VS Code installed to the path. Coincidentally, I also prefer VS Code. Not that I have a whole lot of experience, but I have toyed with Atom and Sublime. I just prefer VS Code. It has a lot of really cool extensions. It's really easy to use. I just like the thematic overall. The dark theme's great. This quo. This coder needs a light theme. Said no one ever. So, yeah, we got through all of that and installing a few extensions and installing a couple different packages. We got MongoDB server running in the background and all of that set up. At the end of our little install fest, I had asked, what should I focus on for pre-course? Because they're encouraging us in our Slack server to, make sure that we're doing self-work up until to prepare ourselves. And I just wanted to make sure I was on the right track. And his basically only question was, if I asked you to write me a for loop, could you do it? We talked about it real quick, and I went, what do you mean? Just like iterate through an array, for let I equals 0, I less than 15, I plus plus, and then it rolls through until it hits 15 and then logs out? Is that what we mean? He goes, yeah, you're fine. You're in a perfect spot. So honestly, I feel comfortable. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to learn. It's going to be an interesting time. So if you guys like what you're hearing, if you want to stick around for the rest of the journey, feel free to hit like, subscribe. If you didn't like it, come on, dislike it and leave some mean, nasty comment. I'd love to see that stuff. All right, guys. You have a great night, day, whatever time of day it is for you, and maybe I'll have my laundry finished before the next one. But don't get your hopes up. Honestly, I think it's just going to be my thing. We're going to have laundry forever, man. Have a great day, guys.